Gary Wilson maintained his excellent form since being named as Surrey's captain, as he and Jason Roy turned a rather difficult position into a much better one on the second day of their LV County Championship match with Kent in Guildford. The second morning began with Kent still batting on 351 for 7 with the aim to get past 400 for a full quota of batting bonus points. That they were easily able to do thanks to Sam Billings and Mitch Claydon. Billings, who began the day on 57, soon went past his previous best score in Championship cricket of 67, which was made earlier on this season. These two added 53 runs in the first 12 overs. But then the last 3 wickets fell in the space of just 10 balls. After making 35, Claydon drove Gareth Batty out to Matt Dunn with a total on 404. Charlie Hartley edged a rising ball from Stuart Meeker to Roy in the slips. And the same bowler then wrecked Adam Riley's stumps next ball to leave Billings undefeated on 82 out of his side's impressive total of 408, Surrey grabbing their full quota of bowling points in the nick of time. Kent were very good with the new ball when Surrey began their reply. Zafar Ansari edged Darren Stevens to Ben Harmison to go for 5. And after Vikram Solanki survived a concerted appeal from Claydon et al. For a catch behind, and Stevens let one slip out of his hands for one of the widest wides seen in a long time, Surrey went to lunch 2 down after Rory Burns clipped the all-rounder to Claydon with the score on 31. Like Surrey, Kent are a side in good nick at the moment, having won their last 2 matches against Leicestershire and Derbyshire, and they were on top when Callum Haggett had Tilakarachni Dilshan LBW for 5. New man Stephen Davis then had a life early on when he was put down in the slips off Claydon, who, along with all of the visiting seamers, was bowling with pace and skill. Davis needed to make the most of his opportunity now, and he and Solanki just started to get the innings moving in the right direction when the latter was well held by Riley off Hartley, a wicket which left Surrey on 86 for 4 and in a spot of bother. And their state worsened when Roy sent Davis back to be run out by Sam Northeast. Davis left on 33 with a total on 105 for 5. 259 was the target to avoid the follow-on, and that was some way off at this stage. But Roy then chose this moment to shine yet again this year. He's proved several times this season that he is much more than just a very talented hitter of a cricket ball, and he celebrated his 24th birthday with another excellent knock, and one which was very much needed from his team. He might have been wearing a shirt with Solanki on the back, but this was definitely Roy at his best. He went to tea on 44, including this maximum off Riley, which was made out of his side's 159 for 5, the recovery just beginning to take shape now. This has been the summer that has made Roy. He's already struck 200s and now added his 4th 50 to that with this single off Haggett, which took the birthday boy to his half-century off 64 balls, one which had contained that 6 and 6 other 4s. He's a man who's never afraid to play his shots, of course. A ton made off 55 balls in the Championship in Bristol proves that. And he's also a player who appears to pick up the length of a delivery very quickly. It's all a far cry from his last appearance at this ground, after which he was dropped from the Surrey side last year. Wilson perhaps doesn't have the same flair, but his performances since taking over the captaincy have been special. He dealt with this brute of a ball from Claydon well, and he moved comfortably onto 35 out of the important 121-run stand with Roy, who was now closing in on his 3rd 100 of the campaign. He was on 84 when Hartley had him LBW, his innings using up 115 balls in 2¼ hours. That brought Batty in, and he was soon playing his shots as he and Wilson took their side beyond the follow-on avoidance target. They ensured that the excellent work done by the Kent attack through much of this day was not going to put them well ahead in this important contest. Wilson was able to get to his 4th 50 of the summer off 120 deliveries. This was just his 5th boundary, but he'd once again played his role in the lower middle order superbly. Given the extra responsibility of the captaincy and keeping, an average in the 60s is a very good effort indeed. It's probably fair to say that the Irishman is in the form of his life at the moment. Those extra responsibilities which were forced upon him after an injury to Graham Smith and because Davis decided to give up the gloves to concentrate on his batting have just made Wilson a better player. By the close, he and Batty had guided their side to a score of 303 for 6, which means that they'll enter the second half of this enthralling match 105 runs behind. Wilson will go again on day 3, needing 20 more runs for a deserved 100, and his side have another 30 overs to make 97 more runs to grab every bonus point available.